What's going on, guys? So today's Sunday morning. This time of year's normally like the crazy time of year. You're trying to get everything done and ready before winter. You know, I work my regular job 5 days a week. I picked up a side job on Saturdays, so Sunday's kind of like my only day off, and then all my free time during the week I'm either volunteering at the fire department or you see chopping wood back there. So just got a lot of stuff I got to get done. So today I'm really not resting too much. Today it's about the end of October, so today I'm going to hook up the plow, make sure all my connections are good, and we'll see where this video goes. Give you guys a little tip. When I first got this plow, I used to slide in and out of these brackets just fine, no problems. But over the years, the metal rubs up against each other and you get a little bit of rust on there. So every time you go to take the plow off or put it back on, you need to wiggle it around and there's a lot of friction. So what I do, I take some grease, just grease up the receiver brackets, and it slides in and out like a glove. Anything look wrong with this picture? They're actually on backwards. It's been about a year since I've done this. Alright, so here's the plow. She's sitting in the woods right now. I do keep her suspended every year, that way it doesn't sit directly on the dirt. There's two pieces of, I believe 2x6 that just kind of rest, and one piece of that 2x6 rests on the blade and the other rests on the boot right there. So again, it's suspended off the dirt. It's gonna be a little tricky getting in here. I gotta navigate around this log pile and try not to scratch up my truck too bad on the brush there. Okay, this is normally a bit of a tricky procedure because after I drop this plow here and the ground thaws, the plow normally sinks down a little bit. So we'll see how easy it goes in here. And on top of that, the ground being so soft, I had to throw my truck in four-wheel, so the truck's sinking down. We'll see. Alright, that was much harder than it was last year. You know what actually worked? When I gave it a little bit of gas and I really rammed it in there. I didn't want to bend anything or break anything. I guess I was just taking it too easy. Look at what I took with me. Pile of sticks. Alright, so after that fiasco, I do have the plow in a wash bay now. Now I'm going to give it a good wash. I'm going to wash my truck as well. I'm also going to throw a coat of wax on here. I like to throw wax on my mold board so that way the snow doesn't really stick to it as much, you know, wears off after a certain amount of time, but it does help prevent snow from sticking. Something else that I didn't really talk about that I do want to mention, it's important to keep these connectors greased up really well. I use the Western Official dielectric grease, which works very well. Normally after every storm or every other storm, I'll grease these connectors up, and then at the end of the season I'll just load it up. I did have a little problem with corrosion in here one time, and that's simply because I wasn't using enough grease. So while I have the plow on here, there's a couple things that I do want to do. I want to make sure that all my lights and turn signal indicators work properly, which everything's working just fine. I'm also going to rip this cover off. Might as well do that now. Well, I can't really do it with the plow angle, but I like to go in here and just check all my electrical connections, make sure everything looks to be in order, that there's not any major corrosion or nothing's burnt out. And I mean, everything's functioning as it should right now, so it's a good idea to just double check with that. I do have one grease fitting down here. There really should be more on this thing, but whatever, so I gotta hit that grease fitting, and yeah, so let's wash this up and we'll throw a coat of wax on it. Now granted, this looks nothing like a race car or a really nice paint job on a car, but what it does is this is really smooth now. And again, the snow is going to have a tendency not to stick to this. It's similar to the idea of toboggans. You put wax on the bottom, that way they kind of glide across the snow and they don't really stick. Same idea with snowplow here, so we are good to go.